Why don't Americans know about Japanese war crimes during World War II? It's like no one cares about Japanese war crimes. So here are the top 5 war crimes Japan committed during World War II. Number 5, the Thehundman killing contest. That's going too fast. Number 5, the Thehundman killing contest. 2 Japanese imperial officers once raced to see who can cut off 100 heads first, with their katanas. Japanese newspapers covered this event like it was sports. It was unclear which officer reached 100 head chops first, so they agreed to a rematch, but this time to 150. Want to know who won? Well, we aren't really sure because Japan kind of hid their war crimes and the article saying who won had been lost to the sands of time. Womp womp. But they were both executed for the war crimes, cha-ching, following World War II. The only thing more rare than Japanese soldiers being punished for World War II war crimes is photos of me sucking dick. But their victims were Chinese, so all's well that ends well, right? Number 4, human shields. Who are the best Asians? That's right, Filipinos. And how are they used during World War II? Literal human shields. During the Battle of Manila as the Japs. Wait, can we say Japs now? It used to be racist, but queer also used to be a gay slur. And now it's kosher to say queer. I know a white guy living in Japan. Let's ask Alex.
Well, let's check in my book about Japanese. Well, it says right here that the preferred term is nip.
Good to know. So when those fucking nips were running away, Americans witnessed them grab Filipinos and drag them to make their escape. Side note, do you know what the actual slur for Filipinos is? Flips. They got the coolest slur. It's unfair. Numero tres. Frostbite on purpose, followed by live dissection. Yeah, the evil imperial Japanese scientists also did human tests like those evil Nazi scientists did. Disgusting, I know. And what did they learn from this? Absolutely nothing useful. It was all in vain. Number 2, cannibalism. Okay, in their defense, we, the US, bombed all their supply routes, so they were running out of food, and they started eating their POWs. We've all been there. But that doesn't excuse them cutting off the flesh of living prisoners and then eating it in front of the people they took it from while they were still alive. That part was just plain evil. Did someone say plain? Guys, calm down. That's an Indian ad, not actually 9/11. Got him! And number 1, gas warfare. Japan used chemical weapons against the Chinese. Chemical weapons were banned in the Geneva Protocol of 1925. So almost 20 years later when they used it, they knew it was a full-blown war crime. And as we all know, it's not a war crime the first time, but they weren't first. Now were they? The Germans were. Okay guys, be honest with me. Did you know of any of those war crimes? You might have known about the beheading contest, but I doubt you knew all 5. But that's not what this video is actually about. Tricked you, too late now. Here's why Japanese war crimes remain unknown to the American public. And yes, this time you can blame Jews, but not like that. Part 1. Japan killed mostly Chinese. 6 million-ish, there's that number again. China became communist after World War II, and America was super anti-commie during the Cold War. So anti-commie that the US government blackballed anyone who was pro-commie. Ah, the good old days when we killed communists instead of electing them. Sorry, Grandpa. I'm just gonna keep filming. I hope that doesn't bother you. This even happened in Hollywood. So no one wanted to make movies about Japan killing people we now see as no good, dirty commies. So Japan killing communists wouldn't have sold well to the American public, so let's just not talk about it. But also, it's hard to tell stories about Japan being assholes when they're now one of your biggest allies against the commies. Just ignore that. Let's all pretend it's not there. When it came to the German Nazis, we either killed or jailed the ones who survived, or put them in NASA. But Imperial Japan, well, we just kind of swept that under the rug. A little side note, during the silent era of films, one of the biggest heartthrobs in all of American cinema was Sessei Hakuwaka, I definitely pronounced that right, a Japanese man. He was what you would call a manatee idol. Before researching this video, I didn't know what that was. It's just old-timey slang for heartthrob. Joe Biden probably still says it. But then World War II made it so Japanese couldn't be the good guys anymore that our fair lady swooned over, so he moved back to Japan. Aw, bye, sway. Part 2, let's blame the Jews, but not like that. Hollywood was quite literally created by Jews. The original 5 movie studios in Hollywood were all Jewish. Want to know why Hollywood is in Hollywood, California? Because Edison held a lot of patents for cameras and film, so a bunch of New York and New Jersey Jews moved as far away from New Jersey as humanly possible in the US for that time, so it would be harder for Edison to sue them and enforce his patents. Seriously, that's why Hollywood exists. Stingy Jews. I'm legally allowed to say that. Not only did the Jews create Hollywood, but during World War II, a bunch of European Jews left Europe. I wonder why. Now, if you're a Jew during World War II, where are you gonna go? America! And at that time, the US was surprisingly super anti-Semitic. Even in America, the only jobs Jews could get were Hollywood and banking. Some stereotypes are starting to make a lot more sense now, aren't they? People know that redlighting screwed over the Black African Americans, but did you know it was also used against the Jews? Yet another side note, before World War II, over half the movies in America were German imports. Today, over 40 million Americans have German heritage. German is the single largest ethnic group in the US. But the Nazis and World War II in general killed German cinema, and it never recovered. It wasn't until after World War II that Hollywood came to dominate the worldwide film industry. You learn something new every day. So when you have a huge Jewish population in Hollywood, and then Hollywood makes movies about World War II, what are they going to focus on? They're going to focus on their history. They're going to tell their stories. We started seeing a lot of World War II movies coming out in the 80s and 90s that solely focused on the European theater. Because the living memory of the Holocaust was dying, and future generations need to know about what those evil Nazis did. That's why Steven Spielberg made Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. He saw firsthand that the kids these days knew nothing about World War II. Kids like me. My dad took our entire family to see Saving Private Ryan when it came out in theaters. That was my first introduction to the Nazis and how evil they were. Literally, I learned about the Nazis from watching Saving Private Ryan. So that's why I think Japanese war crimes just get completely ignored. Almost as many Americans died in the Pacific theater as died in the European theater. But from everything I've said, that's why the US kind of overlooks everything that happened in the Pacific theater. Thanks, Jews!
Hopefully after watching all that, you're probably confused about where I stand on Jews. But if you'd like to see more of my videos, like and subscribe. Or I'll come visit you in the middle of the night and make you like and subscribe. Okay, thanks, bye. Hey, so the video's not at 8 minutes yet, and I can't run double ads, so here's what we're going to do. With millions of views, I should probably come up with, like, a name for my fan base, and what I was thinking is, it's going to be 2 words. First word's going to be me. I know I'm weird, that's just the sexiest part of the female body to me. Get over it, nerd. And 2, I have Irish heritage. I know Europors get really mad when Americans like, I'm Irish, but, you know, I have Irish DNA, and so I want to pay homage to that Irish heritage with the word for guys in Gaelic, which is guz. So if you were to say the name of what you are as my fan base, you would sound like this.
I am a proud nigga.